What's up, guys? Welcome back to GoldClassGaming. And today I'm back with a new updated deck profile for the new January 2020 format. Today I'm gonna be taking a look at an updated Orcust deck list, because even though Orcust lost Harp Horror, they are still playable and you can still do your full Orcust combo. It's just not gonna be as simple and as like easygoing as it used to be. You're gonna need a couple more cards in hand, and you got to play some new cards and change your ratios around. But without further ado, let's hop right into the deck profile. I'm gonna start off with 3 copies of Scrap Recycler, 2 copies of Mathematician, 1 copy of Armageddon Knight, and 1 copy of Dark Grepher. These are all your starter cards. These ones are going to be milling all your Orcust pieces. You don't, so obviously these are all still good to be play and draw. Just that the only thing, what's different now is you're gonna want to draw other stuff with these Orcust cards. Ideally, you want to open another Orcust monster that you can special. But I'll get into that a little bit later. I like this ratio. I like scrap more than math, because scrap can send any machine. So you can send your if you if you draw it later on, you can send your Gizmecs or your World Wands, so it makes life a little bit easier. Yeah, so it also this card lets you send Orcust Nightmare, which you cannot send off of Mathematician, which is very relevant to your combo. I understand Mathematician plays around. There can be only one, but I value the extra options I get from Scrap Recycler. Next, off to our Orcust cards, we're playing 3 copies of Orcust Nightmare, 3 copies of Orcust Symbol Skeleton, and 3 copies of Orcust Brass Bombard. Without Harp, I feel like you have to max out on your Orcust pieces, because now instead of being able to special summon whatever you want out of the deck off your Harp, you have to be able to then either have. It's nice to have one in hand, because then you can mill your brass, and then you can banish your brass to special the other 2 out of your hand. And that's kind of where you get your initial combo rolling. Once you make your Galatea, though, the combo's pretty much the same. You aim on your Ningirsu, and then your Masquerena for next turn. Then also we have our 1 copy of Willigosi World Wand, and our 1 copy of Gizmek Orochi. Pretty standard cards for Orcust. Wand's nice. You don't really want to draw it as much as you want to mill it late game or as part of your combo. And then same goes for Gizmek. You really only ever want it late in the game, but by the time you do want it, you'll be able to just mill it with Orcust Nightmare. Then I'm playing 1 Danger Nessie, 1 Jackalope, and 2 Tsuchinoko. These are just more extra bodies you can possibly special go alongside your primary starter, and then hopefully use those to draw into your Orcust monsters. Like, you ideally just want to draw an Orcust monster or a card that gets you an Orcust monster. And that's really what you want, because you need to get an Orcust monster on the field, which means either milling 2 Orcusts and then one of them being Simple Skeleton, or drawing an Orcust monster and then milling Brass Bombard. So I'm playing Dangers to try and draw. I'm playing a bunch of draw spells too, as well as maxing out on all my Orcusts. Then for our last monster, we have 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This is our only hand trap. I had to cut Infinite Impermanence just for room, because I was just not drawing enough extenders enough. I was never able to resolve combo consistently. So I was just drawing too many cards called and impermanence. So I decided to just cut some of those excess cards for more just raw engine material. But I think Ash is still a really good hand trap, and it's worth playing some hand traps. And I decided just to stick with Ash, because that hits basically everything. Off to our spells, we have 3 copies of Orchestrated Return. Once again, this card is a draw spell to help you dig deeper into your deck. That also coincides with 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Once again, more draw power. Keep digging into your deck. Draw your Orcusts. Draw your extenders. Draw your dangers. That's all you want to be seeing. Then you have 3 copies of Called by the Grave, just to help you make sure your combo resolves, stop them from ashing your piece, your Orcust like Nightmare, stop them from ashing Scrap Recycler, etc. So, stop them from trying to BD Crow your stuff or stop a Lancia. So Called by the Grave is really good, just making sure that your combo gets there in the end. And for our one-up spells, we have Orchestrated Babel, Monster Reborn, to help us with revive pieces and maybe even extend even further later in the game. Ringpush from the army can give us an extra copy of that Armageddon Knight or Dark Gripper. Foolish Burial, just to send our Orcust cards, or a Gizmek Orochi, or even a World Wand. And then for our last spell, we have 1-for-1. This card is obviously too special. Our Brass Bombard out of the deck. Once again, if you're holding an Orcust monster, Brass Specialist. So if you can get Brass on the board, you can make Link Karibo and then banish Brass out of the graveyard to start specialing your pieces or your Orcust monsters. And then for our 1 trap card, just the 1 copy of Orcust Crescendo. I mentioned I cut impermanence, and I was testing 2 of these for a while, but I thought that 1 was fine. Once again, I wanted more room for extenders and combo cards to help make sure my combo would get there in the end. Now off to the extra deck. We have 2 copies of Dingirsu. This is for our Aziz monsters. Just double Dingirsu. It's been standard for a while. I don't even have to explain much about Dingirsu, I hope. So I'm just going to move on to our Link 4s, where I have Boral Sword Dragon, Topologic Zoroboros, and Orcustrion. Boral Sword is there to help you close games, in that like last punch per game. Zoroboros is, absolutely really insane. With Babel and with Gizmek, you can just trigger on your opponent's turn. You're banishing so many cards already. It's really easy to just pump Zoroboros up to a really, really large amount of attack points. And then Orcustrion, you don't make it often, but it has such a powerful effect. I felt it'd be wrong not to include it, just because there will be times where you make Orcustrion and then resolve the effect and then just blow away your opponents. Next up, we have 2 copies of Longirsu. I decided to just lean into the Orcust links a little more, so added an extra copy of Longirsu. Once again, helps for grinds. Also helps since you can just make this and then just shuffle back 2 of your banished Orcust monsters to help recycle pieces even faster. Just to make sure that you always have Orcusts in deck to keep playing. As well as his effect Ascend is very, very useful. And then you have 3 copies of Galatea. You're making this like once a turn. I shouldn't have to explain much about that, so I'm just gonna move right on to Nightmare Unicorn, since this is very, very common to make off of Masquerena on your opponent's turn. But I'm also playing Nightmare Phoenix and Cerberus, because sometimes the opportunity arises to summon these 2 before you actually even activate an Orcust monster. And if you do that, it helps to have that kind of utility to just pop, pop a backer or pop a monster that might just be giving you a hard time. Then we have our 1 copy of IP Masquerena. This is part of your main combo where you end on your Masquerena with Dingirsu in graveyard. Then you summon the Dingirsu, send a card, and then Masquerena for a unicorn to shuffle 1 back into the deck. It's very useful. You're making it most of the time on your opening turn. And for our last extra deck card, we have 1 copy of Link Karibo. This is there for Orcust Brass Bomber to help you. If you just hard open 2 Orcust monsters, you can normal Brass, make Link Karibo, effective Brass, especially the other Orcust monster, and then now you essentially have Orcust combo. So yeah, so that's it for the extra deck. I tried making this build focus a lot more around just raw Orcust monsters and just seeing how that would push the deck forward. So obviously you are limited now with the loss of Harp Horror, but I think this deck list is still pretty solid. Orcust will definitely still absolutely be a contender in the meta. But let me know what you guys think of this deck profile in the comments down below. You guys have any suggestions for what cards you would change? Let me know. If you guys want to see more of my content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll have more new format deck profiles coming out later this week. Without further ado, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.